Alright, so let's see what happens with this. So, I'm glad that you still have the leash on him. And we're gonna use that a little bit right now. The jumping that he's doing when I come in the door and the continuation of the jumping now, we gotta stop that. Because that's not good.
Right.
And part of the problem with that is he's, again, and I actually did a video this morning, I don't know if you saw it yet or not, where these cute puppies get away with murder because they're so darn cute.
Right.
And we're teaching them bad habits because we're tolerating their cuteness. And one of the habits is when they come, you know, to greet you or whatever, you're just, oh, look, and you grab one. And
Right.
now he's getting bigger, so putting him on your lap is not as easy as it was before, so now you're allowing him to come up on the furniture a little bit so that he can, you know, still be close to you. But somewhere along the way, there was a little bit of a neglect on allowing him to jump up on you. Or people, holidays, you had maybe people coming and going, you mentioned your mom.
Yeah.
You know, and you might have been doing everything right, but mom didn't,
Right.
you know, or whoever else came over. And these are, the puppy learns these things and thinks it's okay. And then as he gets bigger, like he's starting to get now, it's not as acceptable because he is big and he can push over an older person or a toddler,
Right.
or he can become demanding. That's what he's doing here. He's being very demanding. I want attention. I want that treat. I don't have to be a good boy to get it. That's all what's going on here with him right now. I want to work with the towel, but I want to work with this. So keeping the leash on him again for a while longer so that you can control this behavior and a couple others too. You know, is he going after things? The last time I was here, we were having trouble with getting him to leave it. Is that still trouble?
He'll, like, when we do the exercise, we put like a treat on the floor and a leash on, and then we say leave it. He's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
So he's figured out when he's working and when he's not.
Exactly. But like the box of tissues, because we're all sick, so there's box of tissues everywhere. He would grab the tissues and then just run. And we would do the leave it with that, and then when he knew he was working, he was good. But as soon as our attention was somewhere else, he would go for the tissue.
Okay, so especially in a busy time of the year like the holidays, or in your case, the holidays, and then a lot of people were getting sick during the holidays. So you were trying to accommodate family and holidays, and you were trying to take care of sick people and sick yourself a little bit too, and the puppy, and so now because your focus is on more important things than the puppy. Not saying that you weren't paying attention to the puppy, but not the same way because you had so many other things to pay attention to, unlike the normal day that you are at home. And that's when the puppy learns the bad behaviors, is when we can't pay attention to them. So I always tell people, and this is part of the crate training that I like people to have, again, it's not, I feel that a dog should have a place of its own. I've talked to you about that, you've agreed, and I feel that it should be a crate versus like locking him in a laundry room or something like that. It should be a crate that he can go in and out of when at leisure, but at times he's locked in there. Maybe at night during sleep, if you're not letting him sleep with you or the kids or next to the kids or something like that. And maybe when you might have company that doesn't like a dog, you know, there's always somebody that's afraid of dogs or doesn't like dogs, so put him in his crate. And when you can't focus your attention on him the way you normally could, like when you're not feeling well, or when there's company over, or the holidays, or any combination of all those types of things, don't be afraid to put him in the crate for a couple of hours so that you can nurse your kids if they're sick, or yourself if you're sick, or wrap Christmas gifts if that's what you needed to do, rather than allow him the freedom to kind of move around and start to feel like, oh, I just got away with something that under normal circumstances I haven't been able to get away with it. But he doesn't understand that it's under normal circumstances. He may understand that I just got away with something, I'm going to keep trying this more. And then when he can't get away with it, then he's going to he's going to strike. He's going to pick at you. He's going to say, wait a minute, I got away with this yesterday. I want to jump up on you. I want to bark, or I want to whatever it might be. So you have to take advantage of a crate for your own purposes too, as long as the crate is a place that he doesn't mind being. And I always tell this to people, I probably told it to you in the beginning too. Put him in the crate periodically for a half an hour, 10 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, for no reason at all, just so that he learns that there's times that he has to be in the crate. Period. Not just at night when you go to bed, or not just whatever time you normally put him in the crate. Put him in the crate periodically so that he learns that, so that when the time comes that you need to pay attention to other things more than you can with him, especially in the puppy stage. And he's going to be a puppy for another year yet. You know, poodles, high bloodline doodles, 18 to 24 months of maturity. So they're on the back of your food bag, it says 12 months, feed the puppy food for 12 months. No, you want to feed this guy at least 18 months of puppy food, maybe the last 6 months, 18 to 24, you can start mixing it up with the other food. Because he's not only physically still developing, but he's also mentally still developing. Not because he's slower mentally than other dogs, that it takes him 2 years to develop mentally, but because he's advanced. He learns more than the average type dog. There's several breeds like that. But a poodle or a high bloodline doodle, which you have right here, 87% poodle, the intelligence is not the same as most other dogs. So, and they do. And you can Google it, you can find facts and information about that. So now it's I don't know, been talking for 10 minutes, and he finally now just laid down. That's what I wanted to see. How long will it take him to just say, all right, he's not paying attention to me, he's not giving me any treats, mom's not paying any attention to me, and I'm going to settle down. And that's what I like. I like to see that he did settle down. Didn't take him that long. It isn't like you have a room full of people that he could, okay, I'm bored with Mike, now I'll go to grandma. And I'm bored with grandma, now I'll go to the cousin. And I'm bored with, it's just the two of us. So he settled down in about 10 minutes. That's good. Apollo, come. Come. Good boy. Sit. So when you bring him up on the couch, how do you use a word? Do you use a command? Or does he just come up at his own random by you tapping on the couch?
I think I've done like come up or up and hit the couch. Okay. Yeah.
So I need you to figure out a word that works for that, so that you all are on the same. That you're all doing the same thing. Just like when you want him to put his butt on the ground, you say sit, and everybody else says sit. How quickly they learn that.
Right.
But if you say up, and somebody says sofa, and somebody says chair, and somebody else says couch, he'll figure out that all out, but it'll take him longer.
Right.
And what could happen is he could determine that he can decide when to come on the couch. Versus, in other words, you walk out of the room, you come back in, and he's laying on the couch, and maybe that's okay, and maybe it's not. At my house, I like all of my dogs have permission to come up on our furniture, but only with permission.
Right.
I can't walk out of the room, come back, and they're laying on the couch, unless I put them on, I told them they could be there before I walked out of the room. So you want to have a word, whatever one you guys want to come up with, that represents the approval of him coming up on the sofa, the couch, the chair. One word, not for all of them.
Right.
Oh, you're bored again and you went and lay down. Well, that's good. So let's try to get you up here. Come on. Come on up on the couch. Come on. Can you do it? Can you do it, or do I have to help you a little bit? Does he do it on his own?
We were kind of helping him.
Okay, come here, big guy. Come here. Come here.
I think I've seen him do it twice on his own, but that's how Jody was chasing
Come on.
him.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Push, push, push. I'll help you a little bit. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Now you see how he's putting his paw on me?
Mm-hmm.
He's looking to see if I put the treat in this hand on purpose. Okay. He's looking for that treat. He knows I have the treats, and he's putting the paw on me, demanding the treat. I want the treat. Now, in a way, I could give it to him because I gave him a command to come up on the couch. I had to help him because he's still little and he hasn't quite figured out the coordination of jumping with confidence yet. So we're helping him. But he did it. So I am going to give him the treat because I asked him to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that. And then I'm going to let him know that I don't have any more treats in my hand. And when you say that he kind of jumps on you when you let him on the couch, is it because you're playing with him on the couch, or are you trying to maybe watch TV?
I was actually, when he was doing a lot, I was just trying to get rid of my headache. And if he's on the couch, then I know where he is, and I don't have to search the house. So I was just kind of like sitting on the couch, and he would jump on my legs and everything, and I would kind of push him off, and I'll say, down, or I think I said off, and then sit, and then once he sat there, then I rolled him on the couch.
Okay. So he was jumping on you
On my
when he was on the ground.
On the ground, trying to get on the couch.
Not when he was on the couch.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, when he was on the couch, he was fine. He would
Okay.
lay next to me or go on the other side and
Let's go.
sleep.
Off. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. And I know I used a lot of treats this morning. I'm running low here. It's been a busy morning. Okay. So I'm going to have to put him up and down on the couch here a couple of times to get him to hopefully jump on me when he's down there. Come on, let's go. Come on up. On the couch. Come on the couch. Come on, big guy. Come on, Apollo. Apollo, come on. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Yes. Come on, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Come on up. Come on up. That's it. Crawl. There you go. Good boy. Good boy, Apollo. Good boy, Apollo. Good boy. He is a good dog. I'm glad that you've followed through as much as you have, and you may feel that you haven't done enough, or you may feel that you've been following through a lot, but you have done enough because I can tell how nice he's acting.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you're following through with some of these basic things that we've been working on. Oh, good boy. Good boy. And we'll see if he tries to come up now without me asking him. I am going to tease him a little bit. Hi, Apollo. Hi. Off. Hi. How are you? How are you? Off. How are you, Apollo? Hi. Hi. So all I'm doing is cutting his feet out from underneath him, knocking him off balance a little bit. Good boy, Apollo. Yes. Oh, you're like a little stuffed toy, aren't you? You're like a little stuffed toy, aren't you, Apollo? Good boy. Come here. Yeah. Hi. Hi. How are you? How are you? Hi. Oh, that's good. Yes, that's good. So what he did there was very good. He sat. I didn't ask him to sit. So that told me that he that just that 2 times there that I knocked him off balance was enough to startle him and enough to force him to think, what do I need to do to get that treat? I'm gonna first try sitting and see what that does. And that's worked, so he got the treat right away. So what happens quite often with dogs, especially smart dogs, is as they learn, I'm gonna call them tricks, as they learn tricks, they learn how to sit, they learn how to lay down, they learn how to roll over, they learn how to walk a tightrope, whatever it might be that they learn. As they learn things, and they want things, they'll go through the whole gamut of things that they've learned. I'll sit, I'll roll over, I'll lay down. What is it that I have to do? I'll figure it out. It's something that I've learned. I don't know what it is. As long as it's not jumping up on me. All right, so we have to make sure that from now on that you aren't rewarding any type of jumping up, and let him know, either with a tone of your voice that's disappointment, like when I walked in and I went, oh no, or if you have the ability to knock him a little bit off balance, hey, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you, Apollo? Yes, that's good. And I'm telling you, I really mean this. Anything that you want him to learn, if you're consistent with the training part of him learning what it is that you want him to learn, he's going to do it. He's doing it now. I almost can't get him to jump on me with just those 2 times that I knocked him off balance, and the 2 times now that he's sat without me asking him to sit to get that treat. Right, Apollo? Right? But you got to come a little closer. Come here. Come here. Come on up. You want to come up on the couch? Come on up. Come on, Apollo. Yeah, come on. Up on the couch. That's okay. I'll let you come up now. Come on. Good boy. Good boy, Apollo. Come on. Come on. So he's being cautious because I knocked him off before. So he wants to make sure that this is okay. Come on up. And this is how you teach the dog that he can come up on furniture, but only when I say it's okay.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah, I know. I know it's confusing, but you're smart. You can figure it out. Come on up. Come on. Let's go. Come on, Apollo. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. I'm going to help you here. Come on. Good boy. Yes. Come on, all the way up. All the way up. Yeah. When I say it's okay, you can come up. Yeah. Good boy. There you go. There you go. Good boy, Apollo. So it's not always going to get knocked off balance, as long as I say it's okay. So I'm talking out loud like as if he knows what I'm saying, but I'm doing it for your benefit, because that's really the attitude that you want to have for him to understand that there are times that I can come up here and there are times that I can't. All right? You figured that out? Here you go. Here's another treat. That's a random treat, just for no reason at all. Oh, you swallowed that almost whole. Off.
He's a fast eater, we've noticed too.
Off. Off. Good boy. Now what? Good boy. So I only gave a slight little tug to the leash. I said off maybe twice or 3 times for him to get that word in his mouth. And then when he jumped off, he turned around and he sat right away. I said, what are you going to do? And he sat without me saying sit. Do these routines.
Okay.
Work with him on that. Just like you had in the very beginning when we were doing the loose leash walking outside. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. Again, when I start talking and I'm not paying attention to the dog, and he goes and maybe lays down over there because nothing's going on, he's looking for a treat, whatever. This is my moment in time that I'm giving him a break from the training, because it shouldn't be a half hour, 45 minutes. It should only be 5-6 minutes. I know you've heard me say that several times. And so this is my opportunity to now break.
Okay.
This is a break. I'm not paying attention to him. I'm not asking him to do anything. He can wander around like he is, or he can lay down like he did before, or he can come up to me and I'm gonna pet him, but I'm not gonna get involved with him with any type of thing because I want him to have a break from the training for a moment. And that's what you do. 5 minutes of just what you just saw me do. 2-3 times up on the couch, 2-3 times off the couch.
Okay.
You do that. One day. I'm not saying that you have to do this for the next 3 weeks. You do that for a day and get the whole family on board with whatever command you're going to use to get him up, and then off should be the command for him to get off. In one day, he's going to know that. And he's going to, instead of jumping on you when he wants to either come up or wants your attention, if you're consistent, he's going to sit to get that attention. He's going to learn that that's what it takes to get that attention. I can tell because he's doing it already. So, all right, it took, again, only about 3 minutes for him to take his break and lay down. So now what I'm going to do with the towel, and the only reason that I said a towel, it could be anything, but when I come into a home, I know that people have at least a towel that I can use. If he has a like a pillow in the living room that he's allowed to lay on or that type of thing, then you don't need the towel, you can use the pillow. But it can be anything. So we're gonna, the typical command that they use for this is place.
Okay.
All right, go to your place. Just like maybe kennel might be, or crate, or home might be what you use for his crate. So this is gonna take a couple of minutes. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, and go ahead and figure it out, smell it, check it out. So now we're gonna, and all of the training that you do, and I don't know if I ever said this, because I don't say it enough. So I maybe never did. I want you to have fun doing it. And I want him to have fun doing it. If you're having fun, he's having fun. If you're making it, a chore, even though I use the phrase "let's go to work," oh boy, how do you like that tree? Huh? How do you like that?
Sad, it's gonna be gone next week or two.
Yeah, I think mine's coming down tomorrow. So if it's fun, then you're gonna want to do it more, and so will he. And that's really important. If it's a chore, if it really is a burden for either one of you, then the learning process is very slow and not very good.
Right.
So I'm gonna teach him to go to the place, and the idea behind this is like when I arrived. Okay. He started to come out the door. You stepped on the leash, which was okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But what we want him to be able to do is when somebody comes to the door, is or other times too, but that's a good example of when, is to tell him, go to your place. This way he knows that this is where he has to go while you get the UPS driver's package or whatever it is that's coming, or the person that's coming in the house. Nobody, even the dog lovers, don't want a dog jumping all over them.
Right.
You know, when you're going over to somebody's home as a guest, you quite often you might even be getting dressed up. So the last thing I need, if I put on a nice pair of pants or a nice dress or something like that, is a dog to jump on me.
Right.
Right? Even a cute one like you. So if you can send them to place. By the way, before I even go there, too. All right, if you can send him to place and get him to stay there, that will help when people are coming to the door, or any other time that you want him to go to place and just stall for a moment.
Okay.
This is not designed to be a permanent place for him to be. Just an assistance to you when you need him to be. You said a little while ago that you had the headache, and you wanted him on the couch, and I think you said exactly this, so I knew where he was.
Yeah.
Well, if you can send him to a place, does he have a little towel or
He does, it's
or
like
something?
a little cushion thing.
That should be the place that you start to send him to when you want to know where he's at, and send him to place. And he'll learn Good boy. Good boy. So it's just because it's there
Right.
that he's gonna that he's laying on it. But I'm giving him a reward for doing that. Let's see if he goes back there again by accident. If he goes back there again by accident, I'm gonna give him another reward. We'll call his attention to it a little bit by me moving it slightly. But I'm not giving him the command yet because he went there on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing it again. Good boy. Good boy. So, because I haven't given him the command, I'm not going to be picky yet.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do give him the command and I teach him to go there, you see how 2 paws are on and 2
Yeah.
paws are off? I call that cheating. I want his whole body completely on the place. That's why I made it smaller.
Okay.
So that it's tighter for him to be on the place. It's easy for him to make a mistake, but it's also easier for me to show him that he made a mistake because he's only got this little piece to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy. Good boy. And again, that's why I asked you to let me videotape, because he's doing so well.
Yeah.
He is so smart. I haven't asked him yet to do that. Now we're going to give it a name. And I've given him 3 or 4 treats. He's gone there 3 or 4 times now on his own. Now we're going to give it a name. He doesn't know yet that it means anything, except the 3 or 4 times that he went there, he happened to get a treat. So now I'm going to, it's sort of like electricity when you're plugging it in. We're going to connect these wires now and make something happen. Good, he got up one more time. I want him to go back there on his own before I give it a name, before I start the command. Because this, good boy, good boy. I'd like you to put your butt on the ground though, without me asking you to, okay? Good boy, what are you gonna do? Good boy, yes. All right, so now he's, like I said, done this on his own. Let's connect the dots, let's plug it in so that he knows it means something, okay? Now, one of the best ways, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see just how far ahead of schedule he is by just asking him to go there. I don't expect him to do it because he doesn't know. Place. 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 Come on. Place. Come here. Come on. Good boy. Place. Good boy. So there he's just got 2 paws on. The idea is we want to get the whole body on that place. Good boy. Place. So 2 paws on real quick this time. Good boy. Now I'm taking a step away a little bit further. Try to get him to go there from a little bit more distance. Place. Place. Come on. Place. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So now I'm going to divert his attention with my right hand while I put a treat down here with my left hand.
Okay.
Place. Look at that head thinking there. Place. Come on. Find it on your own. Come on. Place. Place. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Good boy, Apollo. Good boy, yeah. Again, make it fun. Make it, you see some of the apprehension. That's because he doesn't know what the heck is this game that he's doing with me. And we're gradually progressing. Place. Good boy. Place.
We would use a treat on the ground and have him walk around it for leave it, to teach him how to leave it, you know, pull on it. So do you think that's why there's a little
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, because you don't want him to pick things up off the floor. But do you put treats in his crate?
Yeah.
It's not any different.
Okay.
Okay. Over here, it's leave it. Over here, we're just trying to get him.
Okay.
Come on, place. Oh yeah, that was very good. That was very good. All 4 feet pretty soon here. All 4 feet pretty soon here. So I'm going to just move it out a little bit further away from the wall. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Place. Yes, yes, good boy. By the way, yes, and stress the S. Yes, not that much, but stress the S because it allows a little bit more excitement in that word.
Okay. We
say no all of the time to everything. Our kids, I don't. That comes out more often than anything.
Sure does. Just ask the kids.
And yes doesn't that often. And we need to use yes, just yes. Good boy. Yes. All 4. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Come here, Apollo. Come here, Apollo. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. Place. Distance, distraction, duration. So I'm cutting the distance down. Place. Sit. Yes. Good boy, Apollo. Good boy. You are so smart, Apollo. Yes, you are. You're so smart. So we'll try it again from a little more distance. There you go. Place. You see how we looked at his crate? Place. No. Place. Okay, a little less distance again. Place. Place. Excuse you. Place. Yes, good boy. Good boy, Apollo. Good boy. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun? Good boy. Here's one for the road. Good boy. Good boy. Place. 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 You don't have all 4 feet on, but I'm not going to be picky because that was a little more distance that time. Good boy. So again, this is all a process of negotiation too. I want all 4 feet, but this time I was about 4 feet away instead of sit. All the way. Now I'm going to make him go all the way. Come on, all the way. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Place. Place. Good boy. All 4 feet. Excellent. All right, it's enough. 5-6 minutes, end on a success.
Okay.
Everything has to end on a success, preferably within 5 or 6 minutes. If I try to push it, he's going to get bored, and I'm going to end up forcing ourselves to end on a failure, or I'm going to force the command to be not fun.
Right.
Where I'm going to just hold out until he does do it right. Now he's just doing it randomly, and that's fine. I'm giving him treats randomly too. I'm not asking him to do anything. We want him to understand that this means something.
Okay.
So and it doesn't just have to be this towel. It could be that piece of carpeting right there. It could be his pillow that you have in the other room. Call them all place.
Okay.
That, what do you call his kennel? Bed. That's bed. This is place. And he did look at his kennel that one time when I said place. He kind of looked over there like, he was not confused, but he was trying to iron this all out, understanding that, is this a new name for everything, or is it just a new name for this thing?
Right.
And the more you play this game with him, and the more that you add a little bit more distance, what I should be able to do by next week when I come back is knock on your door and hear you tell him to go to place, that you have somewhere here the towel or his pillow in the middle of the living room here, so that you can open the door and I can come in without him charging me to say hello. So you're gonna have to work on place consistently so that he knows that it's there. You're gonna have to reward him heavily so that he can really make this connection. Now I saw a post today or yesterday. I get all kinds of posts from all different dog people, dog trainers, I love dogs, whatever it might be. And I belong to all of these groups because I like to see what's going on, whether I agree with them or not. And there was a post this morning that said something to the effect of, I don't know, it was a silhouette of a man and a dog, and it said something to the effect of, don't treat your dog to get him to do what you want him to do. They had a phrase for it, but I don't remember. Don't treat your dog to get him to do what you're asking him to do, was the premise of this ad that this dog trainer was using. And I agree with him. And you're going to say, well, wait a minute, Mike, you agree with him, but you're telling me to treat him. Just like you're not letting me we don't let him pick up anything off the floor, but you're putting something on, you question that, all right? I want all of the dogs to do everything because they want to please me by obeying what I've asked them to do. They know that's going to make me happy, and I want to please my master, so to speak, rather than having them be bribed by a treat. And I know I mentioned this to you because I mentioned it to everybody in the beginning. Men are the hardest ones for me to get them to use treats, because most men require that the dog do perform based upon what I told you to do, not because I bribed you with a treat. The reason that I don't agree with that, the part that I don't agree with in that ad about don't give dogs treats to get them to do what you want to do, is because if I told him hippopotamus and that meant to me sit, he probably isn't going to sit right away unless I say hippopotamus enough times and create a connection that whether it's praise or treats. Then when I say hippopotamus, he'll sit instead of when I say sit. He won't sit at all because sit doesn't mean sit. Hippopotamus means sit.
Right.
All right. So you can teach him that. But science has proven, and you can Google this, that there is 30 years ago when I first started training dogs, none of this existed. So the way we got the dog to learn things was by discipline. We didn't really know rewards. Reward was not part of the training process. Dogs maybe got rewards, but it wasn't part of the training process. They were disciplined for doing things wrong. There was never anything really for doing things right. Today, everything is based upon positive reinforcement, rewarding the positive, rewarding when dogs do things right. And now we have the advantage of science to lean on to learn things that science has proven works. And science has proven that there is a chemical reaction, an actual chemical reaction to the brain, from the brain to the stomach, that allows dogs to learn quicker and better and happily, is that a word? and in a happy state of mind versus a fearful state of mind for discipline, okay? And that I can get the dog to sit by disciplining him when he doesn't listen to me. It works, discipline works. But a positive reinforcement, giving them a treat, stimulates the brain, it connects to the stomach, and gets them to do it quicker, and it works better. It stays with them. It stays with them forever. And so once it stays with them, just like weaning a puppy off of its mother's milk, we can wean them off of the treat for the reward for doing what I've asked them to do, and start replacing it 100% of the time with love and affection and gratitude and yes, good boy, good girl, whatever it might be. And just give random treats like they did 30 years ago for the heck of it, just because I want to give them a treat. So I agree with that advertisement, don't treat your dog to get them, but I disagree that you don't start that way. You have to get them to tie everything together. That sit means sit, not hippopotamus. And that every time I sit, I'm getting a treat. Now, he doesn't get a treat every time he sits now with you. He does with me yet, but I'm sure he isn't with you guys.
Right.
You've already weaned him off of that pretty much. And that's okay. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. And that's how everything else will go. So when we get him to go to place, and look at how long he's staying there. When we get him to go to place because somebody's come to the door, that's going to be a hard thing to do. Because not only is there a distraction, a noise, but there's somebody to say hello to that wasn't here before. My excitement to greet this person. This dog's not trying to attack anybody. He wants to greet. He wants to get petted. He wants to get love. He wants affection. He needs to learn that you don't get affection by jumping up. And you do get affection if you go to place. Right now, it's going to be treats because he's just first learning. We're making that connection, that electrical connection in his brain. Eventually, it'll just be that person will come in, take off their shoes, come over, or you can release him from place and say, okay, now you can come over. Last thing I want to mention, and then we're going to do this again. We gave him some rest time now again. All of this talking, out of the 40 minutes to an hour that I use for training, the actual training time is probably 20 minutes. The rest of the time I'm talking, and you know that because I'm talking to you. But that talking is designed to give him the break, so that we're not going through 40 minutes straight and make him get bored. Right? Last thing that I want to mention here, I'm forgetting exactly what it had to do with this crate. I know what it is. If you find, so what happens with training dogs is they go through a cycle, and it's just like children. He's going to become a little rebellious teenager pretty soon. Just like a teenager that will say, no, I don't have to. And boy, he learns real quick, or she has to, right? I'm not telling you to punch him. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying you need to be prepared for this to happen. it's already started a little bit, you just don't know, and that was by the way his behavior was when I came in. A little bit of it might have to do with the fact that we had to skip a couple of weeks because of the flu going around with your family. But a lot of it is also that his age. He's got more confidence. He knows this house by the back of his paw. He knows everything that's going on around here. He's got a lot more confidence than he did a month ago. All right, and that confidence does what it does with everybody that has confidence. So slowly they start to break the rules until it gets to the point where it went over the edge, and now you notice that they're breaking the rules. Now you know that he's being a bad boy. Now I get a call. In fact, I tell people, and I haven't said this to you yet, but I will. Well, I'm going to say it now. We're not there yet, but probably you bought the big package. So we've had good progress, and that's great. I'm going to probably make a recommendation to you on about the 15th lesson to store those last 20. Store those last 5 lessons for follow-up work later on.
Okay.
Now I may not tell it because he may turn into a juvenile delinquent before we get to 15 lessons. But quite often I'll get people that'll call me up that didn't get the big package and maybe took 6 lessons or even 12. 12 is pretty good, but it doesn't quite get there.
Right.
You know, and 6 doesn't either, obviously, if 12 doesn't. But I'll get people that took the 6 session package and I'll hear from them like maybe 3 months afterwards, after the 6 lessons are over, and they're going to say, I don't know what happened. My dog, Apollo, he's turned into a juvenile delinquent. It's like everything we've taught him is gone. And it is. It is. Everything. He's a teenager. He's testing everything, and a little bit that he's gotten away with, you haven't noticed. Now you notice because he's gone way too far, way over the line. Now he's running across the street by the neighbor. Now he bit the little boy next door. Whatever it might be, all of these things start to happen, and that's when I often get a lot of calls. So depending on where we are on around week 15, I might make a recommendation to you to store them. Now you might say, no, I want to go through and get this over with because I never want to see you again after that, and that's fine too. You know, and I may not make that recommendation, but I want you to remember what I'm telling you today, because there will come a point in time that you're going to recognize that he's breaking all of the rules, every one of them, and what do I need to do? Okay. Now it won't happen if you stay on top of things.
Right.
If you stay on top of things and he learns that I can't jump up like he did when I first got here, and I can't do some of the things. Now, there's nothing wrong with what you told me when I came here, that when you sat at the couch, he's jumping on you guys. You don't know. We haven't gone through that. Now we have. So now you know what to do. Next week it might be something else. A couple of weeks ago it was him playing with the ornaments on the tree. We worked on that a little bit, but I can see he won because there's no ornaments on the lower level of the tree.
And the lights are on.
And the lights are. So he won that battle. Next year it won't be a problem.
Right.
It won't be. He won't even pay attention to it. He's already not paying attention to it now.
Right.
It's that thing has kind of worked itself out on its own. All right, so we're going to do this one more time where we send them to places. Is there anything, I'm going to wrap it up, unless there's something that you think I need to touch on that I haven't touched on?
I don't think so. The biting.
I'm going to give him a break on that nipping
because
he's still got baby teeth in his mouth. Now, I'm not saying that you can't let him know that that's not acceptable by letting out a big screech, ow, when he does that kind of thing. See how he looked up just now? Letting out a big screech of some sort, just like puppies do when they're fighting with one another.
Right.
You know, that not any different. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know, no, what is that? No biting, no mouth. Whatever words you want to use. Use a phrase like no biting or no mouth. But I'm not going to worry about using any techniques to teach him anything yet.
Okay.
we want to get those couple of baby teeth yet out of him, another week or two, that might be it. And then the sensations that he's feeling in his mouth should relax.
Okay.
And if then he continues, and now he's not doing any vicious biting. When you say biting, he's not trying to hurt you.
Not like that, not anger.
I mean, he
or
might
whatever.
be causing blood because he's got little pins. in
Yeah,
his teeth.
like I was sitting like this on the couch the other day, and that's when he was trying to jump on me, and I like kind of
Mm-hmm.
got his feet up, and he bite my ankle, like the whole mouth went around my ankle, and
Did he squeeze down on
a
it?
little bit, but not. I think just because his mouth and the size of his mouth and the size of the ankle,
Mm-hmm.
but that type of biting.
And what did you do?
I think he had a leash on, so I yanked his leash and I told him no, and I said, you don't bite, and then
Good.
I redirected his attention. I think it was toy was around. or
Okay,
something
I'm
like
glad you mentioned that. Be careful when you're redirecting attention. If you do it too quickly, and we talked about this in a different way, but I'll cover. If you do it too quickly, he could think biting gets the treat, biting gets the toy, whatever you redirected his attention to that he wanted to play with or chew on. Biting gets something.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever there's a negative going on, before you give him a reward or a toy that you're trying to redirect him, force him to do something positive like sit. That's the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
So you put your leg up like this and he went for your ankle and you said, no biting, sit. Apollo, sit. Now the sit can be more in a frustrated tone, like I just said, but it's a positive command. It's
Right.
not a negative command. Like leave it is a negative command.
Okay.
No is a negative command. And if you redirect from a negative to a positive reward, a dog, especially a smart dog, can put 2 and 2 together and figure out that's all I need to do. Bite her ankle, I get a treat. Bite her ankle, I get the bone. Bite her ankle, I get the Kong full of peanut butter, whatever you put in there. So redirect after you make a positive.
Okay.
Tell him to sit, be a good boy, here's your toy.
Okay.
And now he's getting rewarded for sitting
Mm-hmm.
instead of biting.
Okay.
Okay? So let's try this one more time. Apollo. Yeah, you know your name.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Come here.
Oh, another thing that I did want to ask about. Well, there are 2 things. One was we let him outside a little bit to run around in the backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll take his leash off and I'll have him free run, to
Mm-hmm.
kind of run a little bit. But he's been going farther into the neighbor's yard than what
Okay.
he always used to. And I would say, Apollo, come, and he wouldn't listen until I would show him like the treat bag. I say, I got treats, and then he would come.
So we have to go back to that basic training that we did a few weeks ago with the long cord.
Uh-huh.
Now, it doesn't have to be around a tree like we were
Mm-hmm.
doing that technique around this tree over here. It can be a long cord that he has, that he's dragging, a cord where you don't have the loop on the end of it,
Uh-huh.
so that it can't get caught on anything. And a good long one, I'd say 25, 30 feet or so,
Okay.
that he can drag around the backyard when you're going to let him free. So that if he is going a little bit too far, you don't have to go after him, because he thinks it's a game when you start going after
Right.
him. You're going after the end, the farthest away point that the cord is,
Okay.
so that you are as far away from him as possible that you can still control him with the cord.
Okay.
And then with that, at the end of that cord, that's when you give him a quick little tug and you ask him to come. If he doesn't come, reel in a few feet, give another tug, tell him to come. If he doesn't come, reel in a few feet, tell him to come. The point is that he's got to learn that what happens, what you're experiencing, is he's getting to a point in your yard that he knows she can't get me,
Mm-hmm.
or he can't get me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going. I'm going next door. And they can scream and yell and ask me to come all they want. They can't catch me. I'm too fast, I'm too quick, I'm too nimble on my feet.
Right.
And besides, if they do come after me, that's a fun game to play. I can bob here and weave there, and all of a sudden, and you're actually teaching him to do that. So put the long cord on him. If you don't have a long cord, just go to the hardware store, get 30 feet of rope.
Yeah.
30 feet, and put a little hook on the end of it, and just hook it on, and let him drag that around. And how long should I do that, Mike? As long, it doesn't matter. You're not hurting him. It isn't.
Right.
Let him drag that around all winter if you have to.
Right.
Until he understands where the boundaries actually are.
Okay.
So once he starts to get to your lot line, or an area that you don't want him to go beyond, that's when you start calling him back in. And again, don't do this when you guys are going out there to build a snowman or something else that you're going to be doing where your priority is that.
Okay.
Go out there where your priority is to get him to learn what you want him to learn, and that's not to go beyond a certain point and to come back when I call you.
Okay.
So that he doesn't accidentally get into the neighbor's yard because you were busy building a snowman and you turn around and 2 yards away, there he is.
Okay.
Only do this for his sake, not for your sake. Just like when we were doing the little loose leash walking. I told you, if you're going to take him for a mile walk because you need exercise, then leave him home.
Right.
If you're going to take him for a mile walk because you want to take him for a walk and pay attention to him and what he's doing, then go for your mile walk. Same thing in the backyard right now until he learns where the boundary is. And the boundary, if you put what they call the invisible fence, electric fencing underneath the ground so that he gets a little electric shock.
Yeah.
There's a bell that goes off about 5 feet before they get the electric shock.
Okay.
So they're getting out of bounds, a bell goes off, they go further, they get an electric shock. So what ends up happening is they learn that when the bell goes off on the collar, the buzzer, that's as far as I'm going to go, because I know if I go too much further, I'm going to get an electric shock. So you want to do the same thing with the cord, the long cord. If the lot line is from this tree to this tree, well, about 5 feet before he gets to that imaginary line, that's when you want to start telling him to come back.
Okay.
That's when you want to start giving him the gentle tugs. You can buy the underground fence, but this works just as good if you're consistent. It actually works better because the underground fence, there's a couple of problems with the underground fence. One is it's an electric shock, and I really, these kinds of dogs, I don't like that to occur. Two, a lot of times if they get through it, the electric fence, they can't get back in because they get shocked trying to get back in.
That's what I heard.
And three, it doesn't keep anybody else's dogs or raccoons or coyotes out of your yard. It doesn't keep anything out. So this technique with the long cord works just as good as long as you stay consistent with it.
Okay.
Okay? All right, Apollo. I just heard a car door, so let's see what we can do here. We're going to use this. And I'm going to take this cord. Is he going to come in the front door or through a garage?
Probably the front door.
Okay. Sit. No. Leave it. Leave it. Sit. Sit.
Well, hey, attack dog.
Leave it. Leave it. No. No. Place.
Hi, guard dog.
Place.
How was your last game?
Bad.
So right now he's frustrated. No. Place. Because this has never happened before. When family comes home, I can go greet them. No. No. Place. 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 You're not on the place. Place. I'll let that slide. Because the distraction is so great. But he's actually already passed them. Go ahead. Go ahead. Good boy. Good boy. See how tentatively now he's going? He's not attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
He's not jumping, he's not,
Hi.
he's actually on his place too. Hi guys,
How's it going?
it's good. Last thing that I do wanna mention is the crate,
Mm-hmm.
okay? If it gets to a point that he's just overwhelmingly excited when company's coming over, rather than let him be out of the crate before they come to the, or as they're coming to the door,
Mhm.
put him in the crate before people come. Positive, I'm not saying it's punishment or anything.
Right.
Put them in the crate before people come. As the people come in the house and you greet them and it's Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, whatever it might be, Happy Birthday. He's in the crate, he's calm, if that's where it's at. He can see where it's at. If he's barking, just quietly tell him, no barking, be quiet. Barking when people come or knock on the door is not such a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want it to go beyond that.
Right.
And so you do wanna let them know that barking is with limitations. So even though it's probably okay when the guys came home that he barked a little bit, I still told them, no barking, be quiet. Let them know that's with limitations. But if I know people are coming that's gonna work him up and he's just too hard to handle, put him in a crate before they come.
Okay.
Let the people be here for 5-10 minutes and then let them out
Okay.
at that time. All right, Apollo, I gotta go. Place? 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 Good boy. You're cheating though. Only got 2.5. 2.5.
How much should he be eating? Now, we feed him a cup in the morning and then around dinner time.
A full cup?
A full cup.
I'm still a little under.
I'm a full, maybe a little bit more.
That's probably enough.
Okay.
That's probably enough.
He eats
He
in
looks great.
2 minutes. It's
Yeah.
gone.
Now, if you feel that he's eating too fast, they have those bowls that have like a maze in it. Have you
Yeah,
seen
we've
those?
seen those.
And they slow him down a little
Okay.
bit. If you feel that he's
We
eating
just didn't
too
know if
fast.
he's eating so fast because it's not enough food. Like if he should get more.
No.
You think
no.
a cup is good? Okay.
Come on up. Come on up. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. You can do it. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Off. Off. Good boy. Place. Place. Good boy. Good boy, Apollo. All four and the butt, everything is on that little place. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, you're a superstar, Apollo. You're a superstar. We're going to be sharing, if this worked, we're going to be sharing this video with your sister.